What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Josh Coker here from Polymathics, the YouTube channel that helps you become a modern-day Renaissance man. And I am over here hanging out, waiting to pick somebody up, and I just had a thought that came to my mind. I figured I'd share it with you, and it basically revolves around fuck the muse and fuck reaching state when you're trying to write. Now, I know you guys are like, whoa, Josh, those are some pretty blunt words there, but it's true, and I say that because I want to snap you out of whatever kind of thought process you're in so that you can really think about this, because unfortunately, a lot of writers, and it doesn't even have to apply to writing, but I think writers in particular are pretty guilty about this. They will wait until they get in state. They'll wait for the muse to hit before they start writing. They'll wait until they feel like writing, or they feel like they're writing good, before they sit down and write. And unfortunately, that's not a great strategy if you intend on being a professional writer and writing commercial fiction and all of these other things, because the real key is, part of it is you just have to write. And the interesting thing, and I've mentioned this before in other videos, is that many times when we write and the muse hasn't hit us, or we feel like it might be crappy writing, if you compare it to the times where we think the muse has hit us, and you look at how that writing compares, it's about the same. Sometimes the day that you thought was a bad writing day is actually turns out to be better material. So think about this the next time you're like, oh, I don't really feel like writing or whatever. Like, this is why it's important to set aside some time, to put up some sort of word count, to set some sort of goal, daily, weekly, monthly, that you hit. Because overall, the word count, I hate to say this, but in a lot of ways, it's almost like calories and a diet. The numbers are important, because, and I again, this is another analogy I've used before, not necessarily related to this particular topic though, which is that writing is kind of like sculpting. So the first thing you need is, you have to have, in sculpting, you have to exhume this boulder from the quarry, okay? You have to get the rock out of the quarry first, and you have to find one that's sort of in the shape that you want, and then that's when you start chiseling things away. Well, your first draft, your first word count, so to speak, the first, I'd say 50,000 to 80,000 words, that is you exhuming the boulder or the rock out of the quarry. And then the second draft, third draft, and polish edits and all this other stuff, that's where you're actually chiseling away at all the words that aren't necessary, and then maybe you're kind of finding an area that could be smoothed out, or there's a better scene. You can never get to that point if you never get a big enough boulder to chip away at. That's really what it boils down to. And again, when you also consider your career as a whole, the more books that you put out, the more likely you'll make money with those books, and the more likely that they'll be successful. So again, a lot of it just comes down to numbers. I'm not saying that quality doesn't count, but quality should be taken care of during that polish stage, when you're chiseling things down in the second and third draft, and the rounds of edits that you do. Maybe you have beta readers, whatever that process is, that's when you should do it. So take that, think about that. I really feel like this is something that a lot of aspiring writers, they don't make it a habit to just put out some numbers. So however you have to get it done, you need to sit down and get the word count out. Fuck the muse, fuck state, get the words down on the paper. All right, take it easy, guys and gals.